Back to work. Like I said, the way I am, I'm like those before me. I'm continual, I'm predictable. Fuck yeah, very predictable. Okay. I'm gonna tell you, basically what I did, what I'm doing, what I'm gonna do, and why I did it, why I'm doing it, and why I'm gonna do it. Just like Jesus in the Bible, just like David, just like Moses, just like Daniel. Moses went to Pharaoh and told him exactly what he did, what he was doing. Jesus did the same thing. So, I'm not going to be any different. And all these people, well, that wasn't successful. Yeah, it was. I'm the light and the way. I'm the way, the truth, and life. Okay. People aren't praying to your likeness to save their children from mass genocide. They're praying to me. Okay. They're not praying to the president. They're not praying to Putin. They're not praying to Zelensky. They're not praying to Bill Gates. They're not praying to Mark Zuckerberg. They're not praying to any of those people. They're praying to me. Okay. When people get together and pray, they're not praying to the president. They're praying to me. When their prayers are wrong, I go online and you got to correct your prayers. Okay. No, you need to obey the truth. Okay. And that book is flawed, but when you go read the words in red in the Bible, I want you to obey those words. I want you to listen to those words. I want you to understand those words. Okay. And I want you to understand that life is eternal, grace is infinite, and we're all held accountable to the laws of physics. Okay. Now, what happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas, right? Remember that man in Wyoming with my dad, because I was just turning 15, and that one man said, we need a new war to stimulate the economy. And my dad thought of his son and just looked at the guy and said, whose kid are you going to send to die so you can get a new pickup truck and a TV? Do you think about what you just fucking said? Okay. Okay. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Okay. Jesus stood up for the ways of and the faith of Solomon and the whole kingdom of Judea, let him down and stood up for the Trafalgar, the girlfriend experience in Las Vegas. What happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas, right? That's horrible, I know. And those guys on Ocean's 13, there's nothing like. It's better than sex to be on the penthouse, to be in a penthouse playing roulette, putting $1 million down on the table. It's better than sex. I was like, you've been having sex with the wrong people. Yeah, okay. No, it's... yeah. No, there's not, no. Okay. My bedroom and Grover's, okay, where would I rather be? In a penthouse betting $1 million on a roulette or crap table in Las Vegas, Nevada, or in a bedroom with Yolanda Denise Gilliard, Stephanie Elaine Gilliard, Raquel Sally? No, I'd rather have the hotel room that, no, rather than win the lottery, I'd rather be in the hotel room with Maria. The most beautiful sound I ever heard. I just checked out. I wasn't there, and I felt horrible. And she told everybody how great in bed I was, and it was like I wasn't there. I didn't put in the effort. It wasn't a Steffi telling everybody at the foot. I was like, who are these guys you guys been sleeping with? Who are these men? Right. She was an overweight, heavy girl that men didn't think they had to put in the effort sexually. The one boyfriend she had after me, she would go in and masturbate to porno before and after. It's like, I told her, you're not cheating on him, you just need to break up. She felt guilty, and I'm like, no, you're not. You shouldn't feel guilty for coming here. I couldn't get her away from that, the tribalism. Yeah, almost all the black girls I was with, not Amy. Amy was different. Amy was trained differently by the Temple of Set Illuminati. Stephanie, it was homosexuality because of what happened to her when she was a child. And that kind of brutality has happened over tens of thousands of years. So it's real easy for women to click over to homosexuality. A lot easier for women than men. Men have a tendency to click over to homosexuality when they're reminded of incarceration and institutionalization. Certain tribes like the Bush people and all, yeah, they don't have homosexuality because they don't have that kind of brutality. The Cheyenne and the Apache and homosexuality, brutal sex, violent sex. The Bush people didn't have as brutal of sex cult behaviors, so they don't have a tendency of homosexuality. Homosexuality is a reaction to imbalance and harmony in the heterosexual environment. So it's very rare for certain groups to not have those, quote, what they say is homosexual tendency genes. The Bush people try their best to be in balance and harmony and try to stay away from other people that are violent sex cults. And that's why they went off into the bush. They got their, trust me. Okay. They got their fair share of defective genes in the gene pool. Trust me. Well, we don't do that. Well, no. The gods must be crazy. And yeah, okay. Defective genes in the gene pool. Every gene pool has a form of defect because of brutal, vicious, selfish survival of not having global unity in there's homosexual genes in the gene pool, okay? Because we know that by the book of Leviticus in the Hebrews, because they're surrounded by violent sex cults. They try not to be violent sex cult, and that's very difficult. And the violent sex cults try to kill you off because people look at you as the most viable option to ending the dysfunctions in the gene pool, the defects in the gene pool from violent sexual behavior. So this is the most viable option is the faith of the Hebrews. The Cheyenne had the same problem. Okay. Who else? The Coeur d'Alene were kind of similar, but the Cheyenne were notorious for having that similar problem. And they were cousins of the Sioux. We're cousins to the Sumerians, and we're cousins to a lot of people that are very vicious and violent. We have the architecture and the anthropology things to prove it. So it's and the same with the Mescalero are more of the non-violent, okay, and the White Mountain, but they're cousins to the Chiricahua. The Chiricahua were the protectors from the Aztecs and the Mexicas, guys. There was a deep regard and respect, okay, but the Mescalero were also on the forefront of them. The White Mountain were the people that were up high, They were the mountain people and they were the valley people. And the Mescaleros were transhumans and pretty much did theirs by themselves. They came down here and then went back up and came down and went back up. The Mescaleros were pretty much self-sufficient on that. The Chiricahua went up to their cousins, the White Mountain, for retreat. Meant the Chiricahua had a little bit more of the ones that had the biggest effect on. No, this is my buddy, my Marine buddy, Chief, Madrid. He Fun Tishna is both. Okay, he's Chiricahua and Mescalero. Okay, do you understand? Okay. Half breed? No, there's pure. Some people, they broke into certain bands and tried to stay in certain bands, and other people found that, it was better to branch out. And Fun is unique. He's different. He has different genes in the gene pool. Um, uh, he's a good man. His family doesn't. One of my favorite people. That's why when I watch that movie, it's radically different. Everything's radically different than Hollywood. And I have deep connections and deep prayers with. When I read James Quelica's story that he told us about Victorio and the family, I just, okay, these are my people. Val read lots of stuff, about Geronimo, and I read Geronimo's, and Geronimo upset me. He did a lot of really selfish and vicious and stupid things and caused a lot of problems for poor Nache, whose dad, after his dad died, his brother died from disease and depression, to go work out treaties and realize it wasn't going to happen. And it's poor Taza, yeah. I love Taza. He's a big, strong sweetheart. Reminds me of my Jerry. It reminds me of Jerry Alviar. But Jerry reminds me of Taza, yeah. But no, it made it hard on Nache. Nache kind of reminds you of Ralph Alviar. Lean, quiet, sweetheart, good kid too. And then Galatle caused a lot of problems for those men after their father. It caused a lot of problems for Cochise too. Just being angry and violent, getting drunk and talking people into doing raids. And God damn, I just worked out a thing with these people and you went and fuck. That's a real pain in the ass. It's real hard to deal with. When you work out and give somebody your word, and then some asshole goes and gets a bunch of assholes drunk, and then they go do things that are vicious and kill those people that you said this isn't going to happen again. Oh, that really pisses you off. It's hard, and they go keep company of other parts of the family. So no, and you gotta. I see that fucker again. I'm gonna kill him. Okay, I'm gonna kill him. Okay. Him and his friends are no good, and they're gonna get us all killed because they do a crime and they kill all of us and blame all of us. One only they go all Andrew Jackson. One, only good Indian's a dead Indian, and it's a real pain in the ass. And people do that all the time. They do it all the time. It's a gringo, it's a güero, it's a negro. It's like Zora Neale Hurston, God made one duck at a time. Pull your head out of your ass. Okay, guys? I love you guys, all right? There's a right and wrong way you love somebody. Okay? Forgive debt and trespass and love one eternal life peace. You do me right. Okay, all right, guys. We'll be back. I'll talk later today. We'll see. We just got to take this 1 minute, 1 second, 1 day at a time, one duck at a time, or waddle your ass out of hell if you can. Slow ass motherfuckers. Love you.